Pixels glow and screens alike. Dorks unite, we'll take this mic. Game on, heroes side by side. In this world we laugh, we ride. Roll the dice and cast the spell. Tell your tales we know so well. Quests await where dorks prevail. In our voices legends swell. Press start, dorks embark. Lights out, we ignite the spark. Gaming nerds will never fade. In the land where dreams are made.
Are we actually live?
I don't know.
I don't know. Are we?
Bold of you to think I was bold of you to assume that I was paying attention.
Well, to be fair, you're the one who took us on that Masriel quest for Hot Pockets, and we just barely got back from the fantasy world.
Look, the meatball ones are amazing.
I'm not denying it. It was an awesome trip. I fought a dragon. I got pegged. It was not that part wasn't pleasant, but everything else,
we were not present for that part. I think it was willing. I'm not sure.
That's something you don't want to hear
The
at
dragon,
9 in the morning.
it said that you were a part of it. It said you paid for premium. And I was like, this is premium? What the fuck?
Huh?
Oh yeah, I blame you.
Why me?
I blame Koopa too.
I blame Murphy. I wasn't blaming.
No, we're blaming Koopa.
Murphy.
It's all on Koopa.
Welcome to the Dorks podcast after hiatus.
You were just saying how your teeth is going bad, and I see you sipping a Monster. Yeah, no fucking shit. No wonder.
No wonder why your teeth is going bad.
No, it's not that. It's hereditary, but
Sure. Yeah, and the Monster is
Dan,
helping that hereditariness, right?
Dan,
help me stay up.
Well, Dan, there's actually something better that you can drink. It's called coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee is delicious. I'm on the talk because I don't have coffee with me right now because all my shit's nearly fucking packed.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that too. Koopa is moving.
Hold on, real quick, Koopa. Do you notice that he moved all of the ponies out of his background?
No, I didn't.
He moved all. He made sure he's blocking his collection. I see.
They're over there. I have no. No, I moved.
He doesn't want anybody to know that he's a
trips would have better fucking vantage point. I did nothing to do with it.
Sure.
You don't
want. We all believe you.
You don't want to admit that you're a secret brony.
I'm not a brony. I want nothing to do with the bronies. It's just never been my thing. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Have you seen
my
video?
I don't want to see some of you guys' videos creep me out. I'm not even gonna lie.
Now I have.
It's like we're gonna talk about this, and I just slowly close it. I'm like, no, we're not. I'm okay.
I mean, my video is still the funniest thing ever.
It is. It is
the name change, and I'm still so happy with that one.
Speaking of name change, we have officially changed over on this channel. We are no longer the House of Rebellion. This is Rebel Inc. Thank you, wife, for giving me the opportunity to do that and change them.
Thank you for letting him out of the basement long enough for him to get all that.
She was very upset with you that you didn't let her go on the journey with us.
Well, that wasn't me. That was you.
You're the one who pulled us in.
You were worried that it would finally be like the time where I just shove you off a cliff somewhere and marry your wife. That was your fault. That was not me.
I told you. All right. What I get out of this deal is your AI leftovers. I got to get something. You said yes. We were in agreement. I accepted my fate.
Happy Pride to everybody, by the way.
It's Pride month, isn't it?
It's Pride month.
They don't get a day. They get a whole month.
I know. You should say Happy Pride.
I feel like
he doesn't want to say it.
I feel like I'm just set up here.
Yes, you are.
I don't trust you.
I wouldn't. I'm the B in LGBTQ plus, so I always say Happy Pride.
The butt?
No, I'm bi.
I know the butt.
Hence me trying to kill you so I can fuck your wife.
It sucks because it's like, but then it's like, wait a minute, I lose it. What? You tricky.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
I finally talked to my husband about it too. And And I told him my plan. He goes, "Do I get to be like involved?" I'm like, "You can live with us." He goes, "Ah, fair enough," and walked away.
Yeah, because he gets to live.
Yes, he
Fuck.
gets to live. You don't.
I'm a
I don't
threat,
know why.
apparently. I'm just fucking
You're a
the
threat.
here.
Yes, you're the threat. You are definitely the threat. Koopa can back me up on that, and he
We
will
also
back
got
me up.
some
See,
mic
I'll
work.
speak
Awesome.
for Koopa. He backs
I'm
me up on
hoping-
it.
Koopa
I'm
loves
hoping
me.
I'm hoping I don't sound quiet. Like
No, you sound great.
Koopa,
Okay, good.
Koopa loves me. Thank you very much.
I love you too, but that doesn't mean I won't kill you and fuck your wife. I'll be thinking of you the whole time.
That is dirty as fuck.
You'll be thinking of him every moment when you start shanking him.
Yes,
It's gonna be
exactly.
like,
I'm not. No, you don't shank because that's blood splatter.
let me
It's a
let me just
hiking
think-
accident.
Let me think. I was gonna think like it's gonna be like in the pilot episode from Hell of a Boss, like with the IMP's intro song.
Oh, okay. Well, Overlord wins, so we're good.
Jesus.
I'm still safe. Trip, I will save you soon.
From what? I
We'll
would
be
like to think I'm a
lesbians.
good husband.
You are, but I could be a better wife. I'm just saying.
And I said husband. What the
Husband?
Husband.
fuck? A husband.
Like a lesbian, but a man. That's what you call husbands.
Have y'all missed us?
You've been a great himbo, okay? But now it's my turn.
I was a beard. It's been lovely. The beard is coming in lovely.
You know what? I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge.
I have to keep it a certain level because of work. That's the problem.
So does my husband, but his grows in like 2 days. This is why I was gonna say anything. I married the beast, essentially. Like I chose bear literally.
Well, you're a furry.
I am not a furry.
I know.
Rude. Hi Panda, by the way, and hi Faithful. I'm gonna ignore Dan now. Hi guys. We're gonna ignore Dan.
Look, if I'm a brony, everybody else is everything else.
Cooper, do you hear something?
I didn't hear anything. What was that?
That's so weird.
I know.
Welcome to the Dan Bullying Hour. My name is Nerfy. I'll start it. You're proud of that soundboard, aren't you, friendo?
I was gonna say that was a pretty good time sound effects.
It was.
I
Overlord is
Like
the
all
male
the other
wife. Yes,
times.
he will be the himbo.
I
Don't
thought
tell
he
him
was.
don't tell him I called him that.
He seems very manly. I don't think he's a himbo type.
He is. He has testosterone oozing from his pores. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's got to be messy.
A little bit. I won't lie. Overlord. I was actually talking to Overlord about getting him to sit with us one time, and he is not a social media type, though. I don't know if do you guys pay attention to TikTok at all?
Occasionally.
Fuck no.
So, thing went like a shockwave went through TikTok, and the reason his name is Overlord is because he's called Ginger Overlord. He is incredibly ginger. He is the gingeriest ginger I have ever met, and
He's the gingeriest ginger you've ever gingered.
yes, that I've ever gingered personally. And that's not true. I dated a redheaded chick, and that was not pleasant. Anyways,
Oh my god, it never is.
no, redheaded chicks are crazy, but
I married one, so yeah.
So
That trips.
yes. Oh, see, yeah, Panda Baby and Faithful noted what it is. So there was a wave and a movement that's still going, saying that gingers are black now.
Or what?
Huh?
Black. They're a part of the African American community now. And when I first heard it, I had the face that Dan did. I'm like, you are the palest pale I have ever seen. And what it is it's actually linked to a common ancestor to African Americans because of the mutation. Because ginger is a mutation. So it essentially I didn't know. Yes, I am very bisexual. I am the B and LGBTQ plus. But so they went off this mutation and essentially said that gingers are now part of the African American community because of that, because they mutated off of African Americans themselves to get the red hair and everything else. That's also why it's most common to see in other ethnicities a lot of African Americans that have red hair that are gingers. But that's all beside the point. They were also because they were discriminated against like African Americans. Gingers have always been discriminated against. If you go to certain countries, they're hunted for their blood and bones and skin. In ours, you have, thanks to South Park, you have this whole culture of like kick a ginger, gingers are soulless, all of these things, and they've been discriminated against and bullied pretty much their entire life, like their entire existence, their entire lives. So the African Americans kind of stood up and said, "Hey, that's ours. They're with us now." And what was amazing, what was the most beautiful part is gingers asked no questions or anything. They just went, "Okay, let's fucking go, dude. I'm going to the cookout. Let's fucking go." And Overlord got very heavily into this because it's not just about that, it's about unity and it's about being together and stuff like that. And he got really into that. That's the most social media like I've ever seen him like part of. And I'm sorry, I had to bring that up. It's a fascinating movement. It's called they're trying to get it to be called the Unity Movement now, but it is quite fascinating.
They wanted to change the name of that. There was another Unity movement and it didn't turn out too well.
Well,
it's an
I'm not part of it. So I'm just the wife of
You're just
a
the
gender.
husband.
I'm just the husband.
She's just
I had a
the
lot of
husband.
fun watching the accepted speeches and what I loved is it was entirely self-policing because of course there's going to be some assholes like if I'm black I could say this now, and the ginger community had none of it, absolutely none of it. They would bury them immediately in the algorithm, so it worked and it's still working.
I don't know why. Whenever I think of gingers, it makes me think of Copper Cab, like back in old school YouTube. Gingers have souls.
Not my ex-wife.
My husband does. He has a soul. It's just he is also crunchy. So
he's always seemed nice to me. The very few interactions we've ever had.
He's very nice. He's a very nice human, but he also has resting bitch face better than anybody I know. And everybody's like, "You're so unapproachable," and he's like, "And yet here you are talking to me. I don't understand what I have done wrong to make you talk to me."
Part of my job is wearing a fucking bulletproof vest. Do you think I'm supposed to walk around joyful and going, "Hi, everybody"?
He kills little creatures. He's in pest control.
I would imagine you would have to have resting bitch face for that.
Yeah, he's not allowed to tell me his day at work. I learned that lesson. I'm like, "So what'd you do at work today?" And he told me, and I'm like, "Don't ever tell me what you've done at work again, ever, because I'll just cry."
No.
Like I did. I bawled my eyes out. I raised mice and I've raised rats and I love raccoons and all this shit. And so some of the stuff that he has to do is part of his job. I'm just like, no. How's your day? The answer is good or bad. There is no in between. Don't tell me anything else.
That is probably not just with you. That is probably good advice for any marriage. Don't talk about work. Don't ever bring up work.
I bitch about my jobs. I'm allowed to do that.
Honey, your ass is looking great. Food is delicious. Yeah, no. Don't talk about work.
Nobody ever tells me about that shit.
Okay, you want to hear about my jobs? My jobs suck. Okay, my day job doesn't. My night job is sucking hard.
I mean,
the amount of doctors and nurses that don't know how to turn on a fucking computer is disturbing.
It's not. It's more than you think. It's really
so much more. They're like. The mouse isn't working. Is it plugged in? Does it need to be plugged in? You work on brains, dude.
Yeah,
you work on brains.
And it makes me think, like, how the fuck do these people have a PhD in anything?
And it's not just the COVID nurse babies. It's not the ones that just came out of medical school.
They actually know what they're doing.
No, God, no. They're fucking poor. What the fuck are you dealing with?
I disagree. With technology, they're good.
It's the older generation.
It's the older generation
have a problem.
You're talking about the boomers?
And Gen X.
You can't fuck with Flo, all right? She's been around since she was out there in the World War II tents. Get off her back.
No.
Okay, fucking Ivan Dragoff.
Well, no, but it's true. The world evolves, and in order for you to keep up, you're going to have to evolve too. Everybody looks at me. I can type 95 words a minute. Okay, sometimes 120 without accuracy. Okay, so
Oh, the vapors. Oh,
no,
turn off
hear
the
me out.
heat up in here.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Everybody looks at me, including my own family, and goes, I can't do that. I'm like, do you think I was born with a keyboard in my hand? I wasn't. Like, I had to learn my trade. I learned my
Where?
technology. I
And
learned my
I'm with
typing.
you.
I learned all of that. So you can too. Shut the fuck up.
They're veterans, damn it.
Yeah.
I don't care. If you can survive World War II, you can handle technology. I agree.
Stay out of this.
And I wouldn't be in hell. I would become hell. Road, I am headed that way. But it's just technology is one of those things that like I totally get. With my grandparents and my mom, I'm a lot more forgiving. They taught me how to walk. They taught me how to like feed myself. So I am more than happy to teach them how to use stuff.
Here's where I'm more willing to teach the older set, not because I'm getting there. Fucking hitting at it. Anyway, fucking Koopa. The bedside manner. Like I will absolutely say that the older set has better bedside manner than some of these fucking new nurses that just came out fresh out of the they just treat people like shit. And it frustrates the fuck out of me, but then I'll see the older set going and spending that extra time. So I'm more willing to be like, hey, yeah, you know what? You have an issue with this? Let me get over there and help you out.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that as far as
I don't deal with bedside manager. I'm
I
IT.
know you're.
I don't care. Look, they could be the most amazing doctors ever. There are states where I've told my husband, if I ever get sick of this state, drive me to another one because of my job. Because these people don't okay, I get it. Okay, you're from a different generation, but so are we. But we're expected to live up to your standard, but we're not supposed to expect them to live up to our standards. No, fuck that.
Go to your room.
No. Nobody's done that to me since I was 15. Ain't gonna start now.
Go to the corner.
That'll do.
That never worked. Oh, I got a story for you. So my mom used to just beat my ass. That was her thing. She loved that fucking flip flop. You know, fucking Mexican parents, right? The chancla. And so watch, Koopa, I bet
That
she
was
starts
a
talking.
live.
I bet she
That
starts
was a
talking
live avatar change.
It was.
I guarantee she's going to turn into her Spanish voice in a second. So my mom used to beat me with the chancla all the time. Just fucking wear that motherfucker out. And so they decided, my mom and dad said, maybe we need to try something different because we keep beating the shit out of the kids. I'm starting to feel bad. I'm starting to feel really, really, really fucking bad. So they tried the corner. And it was working okay until one night my dad sent me to the corner. And I stayed in that corner. And then he went to bed. And then my mom went to bed. And they seemed to forget that their son was in the corner. So my dad wakes up about 3 in the morning. Oh, Mijo, what are you doing? You told me to stay in the corner. Be in the corner. What? You feel like you learned your lesson? Okay, go to bed. Okay.
You know what? I never got the corner. I got grounded. For all that it's worth, my grandparents were very violent people. They didn't believe in spare the rod, spoil the child at all.
Lucky you! I got punched in the face.
But the one thing that I remember distinctly is like I was at a party recently, and yeah, I left the house. It's fascinating. And like this couple came over and said, hey, you know, my son is getting tired. I'm gonna head out. And it's like, dude, I remember going to parties with my grandparents where it's like, Grandpa, I'm tired. Okay, go sleep over there. Go sleep on the couch. You're fine. Go sleep on the couch. My grandfather, he'd treat us all like little bartenders. We'd be running past him. He'd, hey,
Dame cerveza. Dame cerveza.
give me a beer. Okay, does anybody else need a beer?
While I'm up, you need to make some drinks.
Yeah. Hey, hold on, guys. I gotta go get my grandpa a beer. He's gonna yell if I don't. Hold on. Give me a second.
Give me a beer.
He actually doesn't have an accent.
Dame cerveza. Por favor.
His dad and mom did pretty hard.
Rápido. Ándale. Give me
That's
that beer.
actually, I think, where I get mine from is from my great grandma.
The fucking Rosie Perez one you got?
It's not Rosie Perez.
fuck
How
yes.
dare you?
Oh my
How
god.
dare you?
How dare you? Seriously. Come on now.
Okay,
Nah,
Bruce.
I what's weird is that my grandfather and his brother and his older sister don't have one, but my youngest aunt does. because she never got rid of it. Like she never tried to like, yeah.
Oh, so you conformed.
Yes, I conformed.
You conformed.
I'm a conformer.
Precious.
It happens. Nobody even believes I'm Mexican because I'm so pale, so it doesn't really matter.
You very much have the Canelo Alvarez fucking skin tone. You got lucky.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like a few friends
Also
of mine,
a ginger, by the way.
I am not a ginger.
Not you, Canelo.
Oh, so a couple of friends of mine came to my wedding, and I've shown pictures of like my grandfather to a couple of my other friends. They go, "Wow, I didn't believe you were Mexican until I looked at him." I'm like, "Well, I am." Like my grandfather is very Mexican. He'll tell you he smoked Italian. He's lying. He's Mexican.
He smoked what?
Yeah, he calls himself smoked Italian.
You
You got to remember, growing up in Arizona for him was hell because at that point in time in Arizona history, it was not cool to be Mexican. You were harassed a lot. So he's dealing with his own shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has some shit he's dealing with, which is fine. But yeah. Anyways, that's a journey down a road that we didn't plan on.
No, but we did it because it's part of the fucking show.
Yes.
And we never did get those hot pockets.
No, we didn't, and I feel robbed.
It was your fucking mission. It was your journey.
You said you would grab them, and you didn't.
I was getting attacked from the butt by a fucking dragon. Okay.
Yeah, but you had it coming, so you can't tease a dragon like that and then expect
You
something not to
start
happen.
whatever. I'm gonna go back.
I didn't start nothing. You know what? We're not going to argue
Nobody-
about this again because last time Koopa cried. So, Mommy, Daddy, please stop fighting.
Stop fighting.
I was just gonna say like, Dan, nobody needs to hear about your pegging story, so get over it.
But we do have.
The last time that you got pegged was by bronies.
Let
Yeah.
it go. There's no brony in this. There's no
Nobody
brony
is
here
letting that go.
whatsoever.
There's nobody letting
No
that
one-
go.
And here's the thing.
Go.
This is the fucked up part about that story. I didn't know what the fuck they were. I didn't want to know. I was happy in an existence where I didn't need to know what the fuck a brony was. No offense. If you like
Wait,
that
hey,
shit, that's good.
hey.
No,
You were the
absolute
one.
offense.
You were the one who asked what the fuck a brony was. So we
Yeah.
answered it.
Yeah, we
Murphy
answered
told
it.
you to search for something. You did it. Your fault.
The more you fuck around, the
Because-
more you're going to
okay,
find out.
because I didn't fuck around. I asked my friends who I have.
Well, that was your
genuine love
first
for,
mistake.
and nope. How's that fucking Koopa fucking thing? Nope. It's exactly what fucking happened to me.
What did we learn?
What did
Don't
we
trust
learn?
Murphy and Koopa.
No, it's
Well, that's not what we
don't let-
learned at all, but
it's more or less curiosity killed the cat because you were curious about what the fuck a brony was, and you searched
And you
for
could have
it.
just said, "Hey, this is what this is." Instead,
Hey,
you sent me
did-
on a fucking like. I
Hey,
mean,
I
jars.
did not tell
The
you to do
Chevelle
that.
song "Jars" has a whole new meaning for me.
I
now.
actually was very, and I mean very disgusted when I first saw the whole thing. Like
So
I
as a
didn't.
friend, as someone who would look out for me, like I've looked out for you for like fucking 7 years. Say, hey, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Hey man, like it's something that you have
To
to
be-
discover.
to be fair, our
No, it's
entire
not
chat,
something I have to discover. I should have never discovered this.
our entire chat was yelling at you not to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't.
The chat was telling you not to do it.
Pay attention
And-
to your audience. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Don't
Look.
listen to the two schmucks here.
Yeah, don't listen to the two idiots that are like, "Do it."
They come here for you and Koopa and to watch you torture me. That's the whole point. We have an audience.
No, they were telling you,
No,
don't
no,
look
no,
it
no,
up.
no, no,
Do
no.
not look that up. You will regret your
And
entire existence.
Fenrir
Don't
is
do
only
it.
here
And
to
you did.
fucking steal my fucking hoodie. So
Hence why I still have a really funny video on my channel.
again, you're welcome for my pain to cause your viewership.
Thank you.
I still say that's still one of the
I need to
best
get my nails
episodes that
done.
we have ever
Mm.
done because it is just the absolute, the most hilarious thing that we've ever had.
Faithful,
on the
I will
show.
always be grateful. You know what? And I wish we could do more shout outs to Faithful, who's always here. And she, again, because of our dragon journey, you weren't able to be with us. So
I told you not.
look
to,
here, Tonka
Dan.
Truck, you shut your mouth. You shut your whore fucking mouth. You're lucky I let you be here.
Everybody warned you. This sounds like a skill issue, if I'm being completely fair.
Dan,
Look, I have a mild tism, okay? It is what it is.
Yeah, that's what this
Shiny
is.
things
It's
and
the
keys
tism.
distract me. Jingling keys distract me at times.
It has nothing to do with opposition defiant disorder or anything like that. No. Nothing to do with that, right?
You know, now I know I have fucked up because now she's starting to fucking psychoanalyze me and fucking put on all kinds of fucking disorders and all that other shit on me.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing that. But
She
okay.
just did. She just did it. Oh my god, Koopa, you're such an enabler.
When?
I like how Koopa's getting blamed for this somehow.
I know.
Koopa's
Dan-
just standing there.
I'm just being cyberbullied.
I hate all of you. I need you guys to know that. You guys drive me absolutely insane. I love you guys.
Good way.
Sure, let's go with that.
We're 19 episodes into a fucking pod. I do love this show. I do love being with you guys on Thursdays.
Yeah, I love it too.
But there's something I do want to talk about that
Oh no.
it's not happy. And it is part of why the
Yeah, his name is Toko now.
Yeah.
Road Rage, you got one more fucking chance.
But it's true. His
give
name
a
is It's true. His name
is not
Toko.
Toby, you racist fucking
It's not
truck.
It's not Toby.
It's Toko, you fucking giant boomer.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
His
see?
name is Koopa.
Boomer. You can't even recognize somebody's name change. You are a boomer.
Okay, I'm the one who helped
Boomer.
design the fucking logo to get him because this is what he whatever. I'm not getting dragged.
Hi,
into your shit.
Trips.
His
I'm not.
name is
I'm not.
Hey Trips, darling. His name is Toko. Say it. Say it.
No.
Then you were a boomer.
Then you're
I'm
a
fine with
boomer.
His name is Toko, not Koopa.
Yeah.
He
You
said he
gotta
was
say
fine with me calling him Koopa. We literally
No,
Yeah, I just
can
said
feel- he's messaging me in the background going, "That's not my name." You're upsetting him.
You're so full of shit. I know when you're full of shit. You are so full of shit.
I'm not full of shit. How do
You
you
are.
know? No.
Because we literally
Wait, what? What?
What was that? Come on. Come on.
You don't have these conversations.
I'm a
Koopa,
car.
with
I'm not a truck.
Yeah. See? Yeah, say it, you boomer. His name is Toko. Trip, go smack him.
She's not here right now.
Rude.
That's so sad. That's mad.
Turtle.
That's sad, man.
Turtle and spider.
Every single time you say Koopa, I'm going to correct you. So I need you to know that.
And it's
Koopa.
Toko.
Oh boy.
Koopa.
You know what? Toko, just stop like acknowledging him when he calls you that. Until he recognizes the
accepts
game
it.
change. Yeah, he has to accept it. We're gonna force the
I'm
acceptance
fine with
on
it.
him.
I'm just he's literally his character is literally a Koopa Trooper.
Yes, that is named Toko.
I'm calling him by his designation.
I'm a fucking Jirogumo, but you don't call me Jirogumo, you call me Nerfy. You are
here,
an ass,
Jiro. Look
but
here,
we don't
Jiro.
sit here and call you ass. We call you
Jirai
man.
Gumo. Yu-Gi-Oh card. Jirai Gumo. Calm it down.
That's not how you say it.
That's how it's said on the show. That's how it's said on the
they're
show.
wrong. I am losing all faith in you.
Because Para and Docs used that same card. Yeah, I'm a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh nerd. We summon Jirai
I really love how you said that like it's a flex.
It's not a flex. That
It's
just
all day
makes you
flex.
the biggest dork on the planet.
I love
Then
it.
I'm
too.
on the right podcast, Koopa.
Yeah, that's like calling everyone human rather than their name. Like, thank you, human. That is the first step into being shot because you're an alien.
They're not that serious.
It just makes
no,
me-
this is not. Fuck this.
Now that I
This
think
is
about
not-
whatever
His
I
name
hear
is
somebody,
Toko.
whenever I think about somebody just saying "Hello, human," it makes me
Apparently
think
clear
of
the
a
mic. Is
little
it
bit
better
of
now?
Invader Zim.
Is it
Yeah.
better?
With the sound of it. Hello, fellow humans.
I too am human. I'm gonna call you human now, human. His name is Toko. Do you see what I could do with just 5 minutes of shame? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give me longer. His name is Toko.
I love how we tried to get started on the topics
Serious,
of the show,
serious,
but then we
and then
started
all of a
to
sudden we all just
derail.
went insane. Well, you recognize people's names, Dan.
Mhm.
It's not that serious.
It is. It is that I'm making it that
It's
serious.
Not. It's not even.
I'm making it that serious.
It's not.
It is.
Say it, human.
Say his name.
Koopa?
No, his
Is
name is
this
Toko.
Who's this Koopa character again?
Yeah, okay, let me put it into this way. We're about to head into something very serious, right? We're going to talk about. Okay, if you don't want me interrupting you to correct you the entire time, I suggest you call him by his name.
And you
which is
know me
Toko.
well enough. You know me well enough that I will literally do it. Just to spite.
You're right, and you know me well enough to know that I will.
And we're
going to
do it then.
Insanely,
So just to let
important
everybody
Oh
know.
my god, can we start the fucking topic, please?
I love how I care about this more than Toko does.
I know. I know.
I mean, it's
I
funny
see
until
another-
it starts to become. It's funny until it starts becoming unfunny.
I see another installment of Dan Learns Things coming.
we need to have a special ditty or a special little song.
We have no ditties on this channel. Thank you very much. You can put your baby oil away.
That
We're
was
not
uncalled
talking. That was uncalled for. We're not looking like to be.
So is this
actual
whole fucking
ditty
conversation.
with over 1,000 baby oil everywhere. Okay. Awkward silence.
I was looking at something.
So is it- oh, I gotta get closer.
Still awkward silence.
No, because I have to get closer to the mic because apparently my mic.
No, you said you needed a jingle, and I'm thinking of it. He's got
can
a
use-
phone and a
you can-
VCR. Sorry.
the fuck
Still think TikTok's candy bar. Dan the Boomer learning fast.
The tism is strong with you.
I'm trying to think. You're fucking me up. I do like Dan the Boomer.
It needs to be like just something like almost kind of like with the sounding a lot like the Cherub's theme song from Hell of a Boss. It's gotta have like the same rhythm.
That like little jingle.
Fuck that. Chocolate rain or
Yeah.
nothing. Your jingle needs to sound like chocolate rain or it doesn't. No, fuck that shit.
Well, you're not gonna get chocolate
I
rain,
want
Dan.
chocolate
I'm sorry.
rain.
You're not getting chocolate rain.
Then you're not getting
because we don't
elbow
want
or
to.
whatever. Elbow, whatever your fucking name is.
Like I just picture like us coming up with this jingle, putting it to music, and then at the very end we just have an avatar of Dan just doing a thumbs up.
It's just gotta have also like a little almost like the little dunce cap, just him that'll say learning written on top of it.
His
but it's
computer
gonna-
on fire in the background.
yeah, it's just like with the meme with oh yeah, it's totally fine, and the house is on fire in the background.
Yeah.
Got this. We got this.
Calls every app the Facebook still. Sorry. He said hashtag out loud and it gave us a chill.
You're really working hard on this.
Yeah,
aren't you?
I am. Asks if the cloud rains. I don't know.
Well, while we are smiling and having a good time, soon we're gonna get into the depressing stuff.
He plugged in the mouse. Now he's the man. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Serious stuff.
Wow.
He learned about memes and he's so proud.
I mean, Mimi.
This is Dan learning stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll give you the soundbite. Yeah.
Gotta make it sound 8-bit too.
him just those toys that have the shapes with the little other shapes that you put them in, like him just trying to shove a square one through the round hole.
Trying to put the square peg in the round
Yeah,
hole.
yeah, exactly. And getting frustrated and just throwing it. And that's when he like looks at the camera and gives a thumb up.
That would just be the funniest animation that I've ever seen.
Are you talking about?
Someone's got to do it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now we should get into the topic because in
Yes.
the comment
Because the
of
Tonka
chat.
truck
So,
is starting to bring it up. So
all right. So what does the title mean? Dan, take it away.
So before I did a show with Koopa, before I did a show with Nerfy,
You lived before us?
yes,
All right, go ahead.
I did a show called the Rebelcast, and there was a guy who I had become enamored with, as far as like his personality, the way he was, and his name was Technicals. And if you didn't know who Technicals is, he's a prominent figure in what we call the Smash community. The Smash community is that of the game Smash Brothers, mainly the version of it called Melee. And Technicals caught a lot of flack for speaking his mind and talking about like the Sky House, talking about Nairo, talking about Pape and all. And again, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on, and again, it caught my attention, and it was just a cesspool of evil. And I believed in Technicals. I believed in his crusade to try to, call these people out, call these TOs out, and call these people who are doing horrible things and just letting it go by, from minors being abused to underage drinking to, I mean, just horrible things.
And mass amounts of BO.
That too. And it got to a point where I literally just walked away from watching and learning anything about. Again, we talked about Smash Brothers the other day. We talked about when we showed the video of Sora. I've always loved the game, but the community itself is just garbage.
Well, yeah,
And
like I actually, because of people like Technicals, and I believe also one other dude who talked about the Smash community, I've never really liked them as a whole because of just the shit that goes down behind the scenes in every single one of the community and with the TOs and all that.
well, and to answer the thumbnail, we were going to talk about cheaters in video games, and that was ultimately Koopa's big thing. He wanted to talk about that, and I was like, I'm with him on that. But then we weren't here last week or whatever, and this was something that was going on, and it was just eating at me, and it was bothering the shit out of me.
It was buttering him up.
It was buttering me, yeah. There was a Smash player by the name of Hacks Money, and if you don't know who Hacks Money was, he grew up with this game. We're talking about like he was a young teenager, a little prodigy, and he was a good fucking player, and he made a name for himself playing this game. This was part of his life. This was who he was. It was part of his identity. He was going to tournaments. He was winning. He had literally a fan base, and he was outspoken. Okay, so when I say outspoken, there was another gentleman by the name of Leffen, and if you've ever heard my opinions on Leffen, and let me preface this by saying these are my opinions. I'm not saying this is all gospel. This is my opinion. And that opinion is he's a piece of fucking shit. He's a horrible human being. He is up there with fucking like the dregs of society. He is a fucking cult leader, in my opinion. He is disgusting on every fucking level.
But tell us how you really feel.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Okay.
So next thing you know, Hacks made a video, and he basically called out Leffen for all these things, and I'll tell you right now, it wasn't anything that he was a little too outspoken. Shouldn't have said anything. called him a Nazi. He related him to Hitler. And again, this is not stuff he should have been saying. And in later videos, he would apologize. But that video got him banned from tournaments all over. Like they wanted nothing to do with hacks, and these tournament TOs on the urging of Leffen, who said, "I feel scared to go to tournaments. I feel unsafe. I feel all this other stuff."
All I have
And
to say to that is, Leffen, like, grow a fucking pair of balls. Like, it's just internet beef. Who the fuck cares with
I
that?
agree.
And so,
Like,
but this went on for years. And so basically the thing was, he came out, he apologized. He said, "Look, I know I shouldn't have said this. I know I did wrong." And they never budged because Leffen was their golden boy. Because Leffen brought in a giant fan base. And just on his word saying that all this stuff about hacks, they never let him back. And then when he finally got to come back slightly, it was always to this minuscule degree, and this and this and this happened. Well, Hacks was also, I believe he had arthritis or something was wrong with his hands. So he developed a controller that was everybody loved. It was called the Box. He invested in it. He did all stuff. People were being pre-orders for it. They loved it. And this was a second way for him to make income when he couldn't go to tournaments and all that. Well, to my understanding, Leffen then donated money to a counter to the Box just to fuck with him, not because he believed in this other product, but because he was trying to fuck with him. So now you attacked him financially, you've attacked him mentally, you've fucked with him psychologically. You've done all this stuff to ruin the guy's life, and ultimately, it was too much for a guy who was in his mid-20s, I want to say, and he tried to pay the ultimate price, and in his, let's just say, end himself by jumping in front of a train,
in
a subway, I believe,
Minecraft. In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
but not
No, in Minecraft. You need to trust us.
in Minecraft. And so he ended up having to get his leg amputated, and he survived. And ultimately, recently, Hacks passed away due to complications from what happened. And you have these people who are going around and saying that he was their buddy, and none of them ever spoke up. You know, people like
Yeah.
the franchise, he spoke up. People like Technicals, he spoke up, and they were vilified for it. All because this Leffen guy decided, because they love me so much, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. And it's not right. It's
No,
disgusting.
I agree. Like, I've watched the entire 2 hours that Technicals uploaded onto his channel, and honestly, like, yeah, what happened with Hacks, like, I really do feel bad for his family, like, because that's not like, yeah, did Hacks mess up with making the video on Leffen? Yeah. And did he apologize? Yeah. He but at the same time, like, the way that nobody spoke up to about Hacks when he got banned from every tournament, like, that's just fucking messed up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and Leffen tried to excuse that by saying that, "Oh, like, Hacks never apologized to me." Motherfucker, like, dude apologized to you like 4 times in the past 4 to 5 years. Like, and he just simply just ignored that. And I'm like, yeah, Leffen, like, this dude's a fucking piece of shit. Like, you should probably just jump off a bridge in Minecraft, allegedly. No, I'm
Well, no, and
kidding.
I'm not even going that far. I'm not gonna
I'm not going
I'm not gonna
like,
respond with this.
I'm just saying that as a joke. Like, I'm
No,
not
and
saying
I
that
get
to
it,
be
but I'm not
serious.
gonna I'm not even gonna go that route. What I'm gonna say is he's dead.
Yeah,
You
like,
know,
Hacks is gone.
so
Like,
what's the
that's
point in fucking with him now?
exactly. Like,
And
just let the guy
so
rest,
I
man.
commented on
Because you fuck with the memory. That's why.
I commented on Technical's video, and I basically said, you know, I left watching the community. I left being involved in that community because I got tired of how sick it was. And I had someone comment back and say, "Well, you know, you shouldn't judge it over one incident." And I said, "You know what? You're right.
Dude,
I
it's
shouldn't."
more than just
No,
one
and this is what
incident.
I said. I said, "You know, you're right. How about that time that, you know, there was a guy who was using Jigglypuff and working his ass off to become, you know, notable as a character nobody wanted to use, and yet he did all this stuff, and then he finally achieved this his level of greatness. Oh, wait, no, that was Hungry Box, and you remember y'all bullied him relentlessly, ultimately throwing crab meat at him on stage,
Mm,
even though he stuck it to y'all and still." And again, I'm not no love lost for Hungry Box because he should have spoken up too, and he's been one of those guys who's come out and spoken since. Um, oh, what about that time that, that young guy got mentored by Nairo, and they were working together, became friends. Wasn't it Captain Zach? Oh, wait, no. No, there was a whole blackmail and, underage minor situation, let's just say, going on with that. That happened. What about, oh, that girl who got, you know, basically taken advantage of by all these people in a house, and, you know, she finally got a redemption arc. Oh, wait, no, that was Jisoo, and it was full of shit. And the one that really caught my attention over the years and really, like, hit me close to home even more so than the hack stuff. What about that girl who had a neighbor who she picked up and took to tournaments with her and was like a big sister to him, and eventually, oh, wait, no, no, that was Pape and Cinnamon was basically destroying the innocence of a child who was barely a fucking teenager, and she was an adult, and she was having him do disgusting things to her and having him fall in love with her only to destroy him, and you watch him literally on screen deteriorate as a human being. That's what this community's been about. So how am I surprised when a guy who just wanted to play a video game, that's all he wanted to do was play a fucking video game, dies, and y'all do what you do in that community? And yet get upset because others bring it to light and talk about it. That's what's been on my mind the last couple of days. That's what's been on my mind the last couple of weeks.
mhm. Cat.
Sorry. Yes, cat. That's my roommate.
So
Cat.
I showed Koopa the video that Technicals made.
Yeah, and again, I've watched the entire 2 hours of
And
it.
I don't know when enough is enough. What do you say to something like that?
See, like, I really like. I think this was a point that Technicals even made in his video with when it comes to in regards of the Smash community as a whole. Like, and I agree is that a lot of these people in the Smash community are just a bunch of fucking losers, and they're too pussy to say anything without being ostracized by a massive community, because I believe a lot of the times politics really has to do with why a lot of people are just so scared of saying anything in that regard. And I'm honestly just looking at that and I'm like, this is another case of why anybody who's in a community should leave politics out of this, because this has nothing to do with
But what does it have to
politics.
do with For instance, they harassed this guy.
Yeah, they
So
harassed
okay,
this dude.
so and we'll break the fourth wall here. We had someone come in earlier who was making a comment. Okay, I don't care. There's a button. Bye. But the level of for lack of a better term, abuse this guy went through, they destroyed his life. And
Yeah.
I think the lesson that you don't know what someone's breaking point is, and they thought that, "Oh, we're just trolling this cat. It's no big deal. We're just keeping him from playing a video game. He should get a real job."
Like, at
It
the
was
same
enough for him to jump off a platform into something he probably shouldn't have come back from,
and
and
plus at
ultimately
the
didn't.
and plus at the same time, like, Hacks was making money through other means, like
And they
with the
attacked that.
controller, and they attacked it. Like, these like these people in the community are just a bunch of fucking idiot or a bunch of fucking losers. Like, dude, like
Keyboards enable you to become a sociopath.
yeah.
That's the truth of it. Keyboards give you enough anonymity to make you feel like you're invincible until it's pointed at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is. Unfortunately.
Excuse me.
You don't know what someone's breaking point is. If I had less skin and if I had thinner skin and I saw that stuff in there, who's to say that I don't do something stupid? Because I just can't take it. And nobody ever considers that.
No,
It's
they don't.
disgusting. And it's to a point where you watch how deep it's gotten. And I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm perfect, that I haven't been guilty of talking shit or whatever. I try to keep my opinion at that, and I say this is my opinion. I don't go on full on tirades. I'm not, chopping down at the bit to get someone fired from their job. I'm not, but I've said some pretty hateful shit. I stand by some of that. But
In other words, you're not your 2016 self.
no, that was a different time. You remember that?
Yeah.
But this guy, this was to another level. You're trying to ruin a guy's life. And there's never going to be justice for this.
No.
Like, there's never going to be someone who comes out and says, your actions, whether directly or indirectly, are the reason that this happened. You push somebody so far over the edge, they felt as if they had no other choice. And they get away with it. I don't get it. I know that, like Nerfy, you talk about it all the time. Well, the internet, communities have a way of policing themselves. There's no police in this. They're literally holding this guy up still, Leffen, as a hero among men, and he's got this fan base, and I will never understand it.
Stupidity is always the loudest.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. You can't argue it. Stupidity is always going to be the loudest. Cruelty is close behind.
Yeah.
That's just how society as a whole works.
I wish I could say, like, it's not right, but that doesn't do anything. It doesn't feel right to just, there's no taking a stand on this. Someone is no longer with us because people got a kick. Even his friends, oh my God, even his friends, his so-called friends were emailing back and forth and saying, I tricked him into making him think that I was this guy and I paid and gave you all this information. Like, when you watch that in the video, Koopa, I'm like, are you?
Yeah, like when I saw that, I'm like, what a bunch of fake fucking friends you guys are. Like you're poking at somebody who's slowly on the mend of being mentally unhinged to the point to where he's going to do something like what he did. Like you guys don't deserve any fucking sympathy for if you come out and say that you apologize to Hacks and his mother and everybody else. Like you guys are one of the main contributors to Hacks's death. Like you guys deserve to just not be forgiven at any rate like that. Like you guys should just fucking disappear completely from the internet. Like all of y'all, you guys can go fuck yourselves.
Doesn't matter. You can say, you can say it, I can say it, Nervy can say it. Nothing changes. I mean, we can bring attention to it, but then again, even then, they try to vilify technicals. They try to make him out to be the monster here, and all he did was
just report on it. Like, why vilify technicals?
because he's pointing a finger at the people that were at fault.
Like, who cares, dude?
The people that are at fault do. They do because if with a big enough fan base, with a big enough audience, they see. And if you're a normal human being if you're a genuine, caring human being, you can see that this is wrong.
Yeah.
And yet, there are so many people that would defend Leffen because I feel like he runs a small cult. I will never understand the logic of these people.
No. No, I would never understand these people either.
And I don't know if there's anything that can be done. I don't know if anybody can fix it. I don't know. And I wish that I had answers. I just know that it makes me sick to my stomach because there's nothing anybody can do.
The best way in a community like that to get something under control is for the community itself to determine if something is not acceptable.
But the community is compliant.
I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that that's the best way to handle it.
Well, let me put it this way, Nerfy. There were TOs at these tournaments, the tournament of officials, that were supplying these underage kids with alcohol. There were TOs that knew about, for instance, Captain Zach and Nairo having Captain Zach being underage and Nairo being an adult, having this intimate interaction, and they did nothing. Their parents are letting these kids go to these tournaments because it's a Nintendo game, and there's nothing wrong with a Nintendo game. And all this shit's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Cinnamon would pick up Pepe from his house. His mother would kiss him on the cheek and, metaphorically, kick and send him on his way because she trusted her.
Yeah.
Okay, rule number 1, trust nobody with your fucking kids, man. Nobody is trustworthy with your kids, and in my personal opinion. And 2, I'm not saying that it's going to happen or that it is happening. I'm just saying that's usually the best way to police these communities is to make it unacceptable by their standards. Also, that whole thing is just gross. That's supplying alcohol and things to a minor is revolting.
But this is how so embedded it is. They would basically have someone behind them to say, no, that didn't happen. And if that didn't, behind them, oh no, that didn't happen. I don't know what you saw, but that didn't happen. We would never do that. I don't know what the end game was. I don't know what the goal was for these people to just do that. These are kids.
Yeah, these are kids that we're talking about here, and it's I don't want to bring up like the whole the one minor who participated in adult settings like drag races and all that, but I just find it just so bad that these people are not being responsible for that kind of stuff right there. Like, no, like, come on, people.
There's no accountability. And like again, at the end, I go back to where are their fucking parents?
It's
Your
simple.
underage kid is having a relationship with an adult, and you find out, and you do nothing. You don't call the authorities. You don't do anything.
No.
Well, that bleeds into the mindset that like males can't be,
No, it wasn't just that one time. I'm talking about the two males, and the older adult male and the kid who was having a relationship with him.
Gross.
Yeah, that's just. I think at that point, like, if there's going to be a Smash tournament, I think Nintendo needs to step in.
Well, and Nintendo has stepped away. They have nothing to do with these tournaments anymore, but they still
they
make
need
money.
to.
Really?
Yeah, they have
They
nothing
still,
to do
but,
with those
these tournaments still make money now. They still because they're funded by other people. And again, that was another thing. They were doing a hacks tournament, and they said no, we can't do that because apparently these TOs are so powerful they can cut down a tournament that was a tribute to the guy.
Wow.
Who says the TOs have to be involved?
That's their fucking hierarchy. That's how it works. I don't look. I can't sit here and say that I understand the system, and I wish that I could reach out to technicals and we were tight like that, and I could have him come on and he could explain it. But I will never. And right, bam, right there. You're absolutely right, and I've seen that more and more and more, and how like these kids, and I say kids because I'm fucking almost 40. These fucking teenagers, some of them are like, look what I did. Like they're little Macs and they think I did this, and I'm like, wow,
Y'all are cool.
it's
Congratulations, you're contributing to a predator.
Exactly.
I do love how she, and again, this is someone I talked about in depth for quite a while. This woman Cinnamon,
Mm.
um, she came out in the last couple of years and said, I am now going to involve my legal team. I'm trying to get on with my life. All these accusations that were never proven, but they were, because he came out, because there was video showing that you were inappropriately doing, making. No, we did not see him do anything with you. No, we can't prove what exactly happened behind closed doors. What we can prove is that there was a drastic change in this young kid after the time that you were around him. But she was threatening legal action against people who made these allegations. I'm not making an allegation. I'm saying if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's not a fucking cow.
I'm trying to read about predators. There's a huge rise in female predators. Yes, there is a huge rise in female predators right now. Massive rise. And I honestly think that us as a society not vilifying them like we do males is part of the reason.
Absolutely.
Because, boys can't be victimized by a female. That's not what happens. And it's like, yeah, actually it is. And it's just that males handle it differently than females.
Because there's a culture behind it that, oh my God, we've all been guilty of it too as males. Like my hot teacher back in the day. Oh my God, if I could do that, it's the thing. It's just, but we're bred to be like that. Is it right? No. As I've gotten older and I realized that some of this is just foul, man.
You aren't bred to be like it. Society teaches you like that. You're not bred to be like that. Believe it or not. So psychologically speaking.
That's the thing I wanted to get off my chest about all this, and I feel like it helped to just talk about it and to know that I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy. It's fucked.
Yeah.
But we've been the last couple times we've been on here, we've talked about communities and what have you, and policing themselves. But yet this is one of those communities. There's no policing it because it's so fucking corrupt. I've never in my entire time on social media, on the internet, anything, I've seen something so disgusting in my life from a fucking video game community.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a video game by Nintendo. Like they literally on their box say, "We're gonna protect your kids." Can Nintendo? That's wholesome family entertainment. It's Nintendo.
Don't trust anybody with your kids, even Nintendo. For the love of God, you guys have to. This is the world of the internet. You have to be smarter than the predators.
Bam, right there.
And if you're not smarter than the predators, then you don't allow your children to be part of any community that you don't actively know or control yourself.
And Sloppy, I always shout you out when you're here.
Look, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So Sloppy's very intricate in exposing people and monsters on the internet. I won't go any further than that, but he knows what he does. But it's different with this when the people behind the scenes are complicit with it. They almost go with it and they're okay with it. They'll go with it, and then when these people get, they get their innocence taken away.
Mm-hmm.
They get used up and spit out. Or, God forbid, some guy who just wanted to play a video game ends up losing his life. It's different when you can find these guys. You put them out there. You put them on the internet. You put them out there on a billboard for everybody to see. This is a bad person. This is a bad person. This is a bad person. But when the community itself goes, we know, we don't care. I have trouble rationalizing that.
That's because you're a decent human being. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Everybody really likes to sit there and go, well, I don't understand this. You're not supposed to. If you understood it, you would be them. And you don't want to be them. That's
No.
not how life works. If you truly understood and weren't shocked, because that's what understanding makes it. It makes it to where you're not shocked by it. You're not outraged by it because you're used to it. You're compliant at that point. And the idea that anybody out there is going, I don't understand. Yeah, you're not supposed to. You're not on the same mental level as these fucking monsters. That's what makes you better than them. And, society as a whole, here's the thing. Okay. Everybody I've ever talked to really likes to say, like, we didn't hear about this back in the day. We never heard about predators back in the day. Yeah. You know why? Because our great grandparents used to take them behind a shed and handle the fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. That's what happened with our great grandparents, our great great grandparents, all of these people. They found out that you were doing that kind of shit. And
Well,
there
you
was
get
no
lined up
police
against the wall.
involved. Yeah, there was no police involved. You weren't going to get a fair trial. You were going to be handled.
But these people were also in shadow, like they were meant to be. They were fucking the scum of the earth, and they would never like don your doorstep or show their face
Exactly.
until they had. And again, I'm not sitting here knocking. The internet's a beautiful thing. The communication we've gained, the knowledge, and everything you can have at your fingertips is amazing. But there's the opposite side of that. It is accessible for these monsters to do what they do, and I'm sure they're out there. There's discords, there's communities, there's these places where these people hide. And they send messages, and I did this, and we did this, and we're doing this, and it's a constant.
Everybody can say what they want, and I'm not going to mention Gen X in this because that generation is hit and miss. But millennials and Gen Z parents are a different fucking breed when it comes to this kind of shit. Because we're all millennials here. We were all raised with the internet. We know the dark edges, we know the dark spots, and a lot of millennials do. They know the dark spots. They know that they have, there's these dark community. Exactly. There's these the avenues to get children to disguise themselves as something that kids like. We know that. So in the form of parenting, we're probably some of the most hyper vigilant out of the generations before us. And I'm not knocking Gen X. I'm not including them because they're kind of on the border of, internet and whatnot. They were young enough to learn it, that kind of thing. But millennials and Gen X and probably Gen Alpha, they're going to be hyper vigilant about all of this
because they're the ones that are failing.
They're not the ones that are failing. What's failing is, well, how old were this guy's parents? Because we don't know that. They could be a millennial. They could know absolutely fucking nothing about technology and how all of this works and everything else. And I have an issue.
When I did the video on cinnamon years ago, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say, give or take. Pape, the kid in question, had just turned, I want to say, 18. So that'll tell you, I give you I guess a range of where his parents could be at. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe he was a change of life baby. Fuck, I don't know. That's not, for me. That's not the point. But no, I get what you're saying. But it's just I don't think. I think it's a ball drop on everybody's end. I don't think anybody's doing this, especially for that particular community.
Oh, that particular community just sounds like it needs to be nuked from the top down.
It absolutely does. And again, that's one of the things that Techno came out and said, and they called it such a fucking horrible thing to say. He says, I'm going to nuke this entire community. I'm going to destroy the thing I loved so much because y'all are disgusting and you're monsters and you're just subpar human beings.
Like I said, keyboards make sociopaths. It's very, very easy to, especially if it's an echo chamber like that too. It's very easy to become a monster and become part of the problem. And you have to be vigilant, man. I have nieces and nephews, and my sisters and stuff don't know technology like I do. They don't know the internet like I do. So they come to me. My one of my nephews is 11 years old. every site he goes to, my sister asks me about, because she knows that I know the dark crevices. I know what's going to be good and what's not. And, you know, he wanted to go to a Pokemon tournament thing, like you know how in the new Pokemons you can battle other people. He wanted to go to that, and I said absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not, because the chances of there's going to be kids his age are low. Is it none? No, but the chances that there are kids his age are incredibly low, and you don't trust anybody around your fucking kids. Anybody. I don't trust anybody that I wouldn't trust with my own life around my nieces and nephew. Period. There is no argument. There is no fucking anything like that. You don't trust people with your kids ever, unless you can actively say, like, for instance, I trust Dan. I trust Dan with my life. Okay. I can actively say that if I looked at Dan and said, I need you to protect my nieces and nephews because I know that nothing will touch my nieces and nephews. Nothing. Because I trust him with my life. Now, I don't know some of you, like Sloppy Seconds, this is not against you, but I don't know you as well as everybody else. I wouldn't trust you with my nieces and nephews just because I don't trust you. I don't know you. You don't trust people with your kids ever. And you also need to teach your kids the signs. LOL, JK. Yeah, exactly. Sloppy, nothing against you. Just don't know you that well. But you know, you also need to teach your kids signs and things like that. There's books now. I don't know if you guys know this. There are actually kid books designed for children 5 and up or lower that it teaches them that games are not a secret. This kind of thing is not a game. You don't keep secrets from your parents. You don't keep secrets from your teachers, like that kind of shit, because it's instilling them. And a millennial wrote it. It's instilling in them, like, this is not a game. This is not a game. This is not a game. I can't trust these people because they're doing what this book told me wants to do. And everybody's like, oh, wow, you're sexualizing children. No, they are trying to save children from being sexualized and being abused and neglected and everything else. And there has to be a focus on the male part of the counterpart as well. And that's, you know, little boys getting exploited by females.
Because it's not okay. It's not a like glow up.
No. Do you know that statistically, when you look at it from a psychological standpoint, that boys that are abused have a higher chance of becoming a perpetrator?
Yes.
Because they don't understand. They don't get it. They're still fucking kids. These are kids. That's the thing that bothers me the most, is that they're just kids.
Yes. And
they're
again,
babies.
So, and I've had friends, and I think I've talked to Sloppy about this privately, and we've had conversations. There should be something worse than the death penalty, because you're not just taking. This is worse than, I would say, attacking somebody. I'll use that verbiage. Because you're taking something from them they will never get back. There's an innocence that you take. You've ruined them. Especially in that developmental phase of life, you have ruined them. They will never live a normal life again. And before anybody tries to tell me anything, I got pretty good knowledge on it. You ruin people. You ruin children to where they're never going to look at the world the way it was. They're fractured.
Yep. They will never be the same.
They'll never be truly complete. They'll blame themselves.
I'm a firm believer that it's not just like sexual, but it's in any sense. You don't involve children in an adult situation, no matter what it is, because they can't comprehend it. There's a reason there's an age of consent. By the way, I'm just putting this out there because it's been a hot topic on a lot of the stuff that I've been watching. If a man or a woman say that the youngest age they'll date is 18, it's because they can't go any lower. Don't trust that fucking person. Don't trust that human. If they're in their mid-20s and up and they say that, fucking walk away. That person is not good. Not good at all. There's something wrong with them. I don't know. Okay, you guys don't do TikTok, right?
Fuck no.
So there are people that do live streams and all they're doing is catching predators on Discord. That's it. That's all they're doing. Is they go live and they sit there and they find their way into Discords and they catch predators on Discord. They make it very known that like the person that they're playing is underage and all of that. And just how are we as a society policing this better than the actual police are? Than the actual government is.
Well, and that's one of the things that Sloppy has always talked about, and it's bugged the shit out of me, that these people will get 3 months probation. You have literally ruined a child for the rest of their life. Their development is stumped. They are never going to be a whole human being, ever. There will be residual scars for the rest of their life. But this guy gets 3 months of probation.
But
it was a first-time offense.
You have to look at it like this, and I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying you have to look at it like this. These are the same people that there has to be a law that you can't marry a child. Like, that's the truth of it, is that these are the same people that need that law. So I don't, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I don't trust the government anyways, but I definitely don't trust the government in all of this.
Mm-hmm. Because
there's no point in trusting them. You always think that there's some states that are taking it a lot more seriously now. And upping minimums and things like that. There's some states that are taking female predators incredibly seriously. But the issue is that it's not widespread and it's not happening fast enough. It's just not happening fast enough. And like I said, back in the day, you just took them by the shed in Minecraft and handled your business.
Yeah. And then old yeller them.
Yeah. Or worse, there's actually stories from Africa that they'll set them on fire and shit like that.
And it's going to sound bad. I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, I don't either. Those people are the scum. If you are actually attracted to children, fucking take a hammer and kill the urge. Okay, like we're done. We're just done. They're children. They are kids. And yes, that includes teenagers. There's a reason there's an age of consent, and that's because you are not cognitively fucking developed enough to make decisions. You don't understand A plus B enough to consent to something. If you have an attraction, because I've heard people say that, like, oh, well, I'm not a pedo. I'm this because I'm attracted. Shut the fuck up. The point is,
don't get me started
like,
fucking map shit. That map shit drives me fucking.
Yeah, like if you're gonna say that, they're like, oh, we're not looking to fuck a kid. We're just attracted to them. You don't trust them.
Yeah.
Like, you still have the dark urge to want to
and they give you a generic squad. Nothing happens. Sorry, go ahead. I'm just reading.
Yeah, it's okay. I was just saying, like, if you're gonna say that you're attracted, that means you have the urge of wanting to know what it's like to be with a minor or just anything of the such. Like, you don't realize that you're the one who's the biggest problem on the earth here. Like, if you seek out your dark desire or your urges, like, you don't deserve to live on this planet. You deserve to be lined up against a wall. Yeah. Well, and not only that, but I hate to like go after Dan, but I am going to do it a little bit because you had said, well, everybody kind of dropped the ball. That's what you said, is everybody kind of dropped the ball. No, don't blame. You can't, because this is how they do it. This is how they get away with it, is that mentality of everybody in this situation dropped the ball. No, the Predator fucking did it. Period.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, the Predator did it, period. It doesn't matter what the parents should have done. It doesn't matter what these people should have done. It is the Predator that you have to focus on all the fault. Because the moment that you start blaming outside forces like the parent or these people saw it and did nothing, like that kind of thing, you take away the accountability of the Predator.
I put it on both. I'm like, okay, you did this. Look, if that's me, I can't speak for anybody else. If I'm that parent, I don't care how old you are. I'm going for a piece of your fucking throat. This is no. Fuck that. And you don't
I am of the avenue, and my sisters and everybody that knows me truly can back me up. Any child is safe with me. I will fucking kill and die for any child. It doesn't matter race, relation. I don't care. I I will kill and die for any child because you never know. That child needs protection, obviously.
You're right, and every child needs that.
Yeah.
And again, the old argument. I don't know if you remember the whole R. Kelly stuff. The girl was 16 years old and he peed on her or whatever. And
He did a
they,
lot more than that.
I know, but what I'm saying is, the argument was, well, she knew what she, if when I was 16, I knew I didn't want to get pissed on.
It's grooming.
Thank you. I'm trying to figure out a way to say that without.
Yeah, no, like I get because when that happened, a lot of people said that, and it's like, but you guys don't understand what grooming is. Like, even if you don't want something, you're groomed into wanting it. That's just how it goes. Like, that's just how grooming works. That's what grooming is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is a little bit a shift, but it is something that pertains. Do you guys know what the whatever podcast is? That fucking abomination of a fucking podcast.
What is
Some
it?
people would call this.
It's called the whatever podcast. No, when you hear what I'm about to say, you'll agree it's an abomination. Essentially, what they do is it's these. I'm convinced they're incels. But they market themselves as these alpha males that are
guys that they had like Girl Actor Destroyer on there and all that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
one of the things that they did, there's 2 points. One, in the first point's just funny. They're like, open the pickle jar. Open the pickle jar. And the female couldn't, but neither could the fucking the host. They had to get somebody else to open it. It was fucking hilarious. But then they had another man who they called a feminist, who wasn't a feminist. He was just a regular dude. And he goes, are you telling me that grape can't be good for the victim? And I go, that is the first time I've ever fucking paid attention to what this man said ever in my fucking life. And I looked at it, I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? Yeah, what I said is absolutely true. That's what he said. And he went into more detail. He goes, well, no. He goes, no. It's obviously good for one party, but are you telling me that no grape victim has ever orgasmed? And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? He goes, in the history of sexual assault, history of sexual assault, you're telling me nobody ever enjoyed it? It's like, are you out of your fucking mind, dude? Yeah, have you completely lost it?
This dude needs like a proper ballpoint hammer to the head.
Oh, he's vicious. Yeah, chubby dude saying something like that. That's exactly who it was too. And it was all over TikTok because a lot of like males are stepping up going, you are crazy. Like that is
an idiot.
Insane.
He's a fucking idiot.
Well, and not only that,
more than an idiot. Like,
oh no, he's the scum of the earth, man. He is something fucking else because to him, like every problem is a female's problem. Grape, that's your fault. You shouldn't have enticed men like that.
That's some Onision level of just fucking.
Yep, yes, it was the same dude that was saying that abuse wasn't a thing.
Oh my god,
same guy. And I'm sitting here
and he still has a platform. He still has
a fucking platform. He's still doing his look up the whatever podcast.
I won't.
He is active. He is fucking active. Nobody like YouTube. Where the fuck are you, by the way? Where the fuck are you? We say fuck like twice and you're like, that's demonetized. But this motherfucker could say that kind of shit because he has more views. He's making money. Fuck you. For real.
I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, you're gonna censor people for saying the F word, like, but whenever somebody goes outlandish and say that, oh, this is not bad, or oh, you orgasmed after this kind of stuff, or yeah, I'm attracted to children. Like, what the fuck is this platform turning into? Like, are the execs in YouTube a bunch of fucking liberal cucks who just don't care about the platform?
Well, and they also have this trend of inviting women on and calling them feminazis, even though these women are just women or only fangirls and everything. Oh, well, you're used up. Well, fuck you. What the fuck fuck you. For one, I was an exotic dancer for a number of years. And to say that these are the same guys that are like, if your body count is above 1, you're used up. You're gross. And it's like, are you okay? Are you
an incel?
Do you need some help? Like,
Do you need to actually touch a woman?
go hug your fucking mother. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. It was awful. And there's people all over TikTok. And there's also people all over. I'm sorry. He was also one of the ones that are like, you know how, like females dye their hair bright colors? Well, in the wild, the dart frog does that to signify that they're poisonous. So you need to know that they're poisonous. And some woman, and God bless her soul, I love this woman, goes, actually, that's to ward off predators. And if you don't fucking like it, it's working.
Mm-hmm.
So we're good. It was one of the most frustrating and insufferable fucking things that I've ever heard. And their idea that like men are becoming the subspecies is also hilarious.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious and stunning how absolutely encroached on their own echo chamber that they can get. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Because they're speaking to that audience of fucking, well, incels.
Teenagers. Well, no, that's the thing. That's the thing that bothers me. It's not just insults. These are also teenage boys who are in that really awkward stage where it's hard to get girlfriends, it's hard to fit in, and all of these things. And the issue is that they make it very easy for them to fit in with them, and that's how we get more and more incels. That's how we get more and more men that think like this, and that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. It's gross. It's fucking gross, and yeah.
Do you think so? Would you consider this society creating the next generation of pieces of shit?
Yeah, I
They're
sure
more or
do.
less sooner or later, they're going to be the next Elliot Roger.
Yeah. It's our fault we're not attracted to you. It's our fault that, you know, we don't like this in men. It's our fault that, you know, we have a body count. It's our fault that we do this, like all of that. Yeah, absolutely. Because look, you guys know me. You two know me very well. People that are listening right now know me incredibly well as well. I am a men's rights activist to my core, and I believe in men's mental health and all of that. However, the issue becomes, when does it stop being our problem and it's your problem?
Well, I agree. I don't think that a woman should have to, degrade herself down. If you're not attracted to somebody, you're not attracted to somebody. But then you have this narrative that's being pushed. Woe is them because they can't get a woman that they want.
Well, I don't deserve a 0 or a 5. I deserve a 10. What makes you valuable?
What makes you think?
What makes you? So that means that woman deserves a negative
10?
3. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
That math doesn't compute to me.
No.
It's really gross. Don't check out the whatever podcast. They are disgusting human beings.
I didn't even know that it was like that. I see them.
I didn't even know who they were.
Fuck that. I will never.
Well, they also sit there and they will degrade females, any female they have on there. And by the way, any female that fucking goes on there, you're stupid. Don't do it. They are not there to get an alternate opinion. They will degrade you at every single avenue. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, their titles are like feminist gets humbled and, you know, Nazi feminist and blah, 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 blah. These females got so mad. By the way, if you call women females, that's a red flag. And you're gross. You're just gross. They have over 4 million subscribers.
They're building a fucking franchise. They're building armies of little cells of this shit.
They have 4 million subscribers, and they avenue themselves as dating talk. I have never been happier to be married. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just glad I'm not an incel cuck. I'll tell you that.
But no, I agree with Panda Baby. Why is the male loneliness epidemic our fault?
Like, it's not.
Well, and also, I think part of that has to do with fucking, let's just say pornographic material and how easy it is to access. When you're conditioned as a young man and you have easy access, like you don't have to go to the store to buy a magazine anymore. It's right there within your fingertips on your phone. You see all of these perfectly sculpted plastic Barbie dolls, and you think that that's what reality is, and it's not.
I think it's more like besides the internet and porn in general, like yeah, sure, but at the same time, I believe it also has to do with mental illness as well. And
Agreed.
Not everything. Well, to some
like
regard,
you
yes,
can,
but you can't put everything on mental illness. Some people are just pieces of shit.
well,
True.
no, that's true, yeah, but at the same time, like a lot of these kind of things can also lead with mental illness as well. Like you can see a guy who's just been so down on his luck when it comes to
That he
meeting
starts.
somebody,
He
and he
just starts
starts.
going raping.
Well,
No, that's not what he's
well,
saying.
no, that's not what I'm saying. What
He's
I'm
saying that
saying,
those kind of men can get like enticed by those kind of podcasts and those kind of communities because they're so depressed and they're so down on their luck that they're like, oh, well, these guys are too. And they, that kind of thing.
and they relate to me, so I'm gonna click on them and
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah.
So
It's
Like,
just,
it's a cult. Then you're saying they're building
it
a
is a
cult
cult.
of fucking just disgustingness.
mhm.
Yeah, exactly. It also desensitizes the real interactions with women because I'm sorry if you approach me like this is a porno, I am likely I have talons. You guys have seen my nails. I have talons. I will fucking use them. Don't fuck with me. Like
Yeah,
it-
you
but
probably would
here's the
hook.
thing. Here's the thing that bothers me though. They don't look at it as, well, this isn't working. They look at it as, well, they're still turning us down. Yeah, we sure are. I have never been drier. I'm sorry to say. I am the Sierra Desert at this point because you're out of your fucking mind. Any woman with any woman with any self-respect and any form of thought, if you walk up to them and go, hey, female, I need to let you know that I'm a high value man, and
you just look at them and go, ugh.
it's like, I definitely just grew a penis to avoid this conversation. Definitely. My body just grew one to make you go away. That is our defense mechanism.
Sure, you're wrong because like, how could you not value me as a human being? I deserve this.
No.
I deserve
It's
you.
not as a human being. It's as a high value man. That is the key words. High value
What
man.
makes you? I guess I'm saying
What
that's my
makes-
question.
what
What makes
makes
this
them a
person a
high-value
high value man?
My favorite thing that they say is, I'm a high value man. I make well above 4 figures. And it's like, do you know that 4 figures is like $1,000?
That's not really anything special right there. Like
Yeah,
a lot of people make more than 5 or 6 figures a year. Like, wow, cool. You make 4 figures. Like, cool. You work at McDonald's. Great. Not shitting on anybody who works at McDonald's, but at the same time, it's like, what makes you think that that's gonna get you anywhere?
Well, when I first started dating Overlord, I got comments from certain male, well, I thought they were my friends. They weren't friends, that are like, well, yeah, but he has nothing. And it's like, you're absolutely right. But, I'm going to bet everything on him. We're almost 10 years in, and guess what? It paid out. Like it has nothing to do with the fact of how much you
I
make.
promise, Trips. One day it'll pay out. One day it will. Just keep holding on.
Yes,
Quote
that will be
one
when I
day.
steal you. That's what it pays out.
Quote one day.
Quote. Quote. Life insurance. Anyways,
How?
you know the plan. I'm going to kill you. The whole issue is that these are the same kind of men that are like, I want an 18-year-old because they don't know as much. They don't,
Okay, so- and that's the
you have
thing.
to
When I
grow.
was-
It's like,
when I,
ew.
when I was in my
And
22, 23, I was like, I could date an 18-year-old. That's fine. That mindset was fine. And you keep thinking, well, that's of age. And then I hit about 25, 26, 27. I'm like, in what world is that appealing?
Yeah.
To a mature.
How
adult
are you
man?
relating to that child? Because I'm sorry,
exactly.
I'm
You know,
36 years old. That's a child. That's a baby.
That is
Mhm.
18 years younger than you.
Exactly. How
When
are
you
you
were born,
relating
when
to
you
that?
were graduating high school, whatever it may be, they were born.
So how can you relate to that person? How can you have a true relationship to that person? And
Our,
one of them goes,
our
"They're-
relationship, our bond is something special. You just might not understand.
yeah,
because
you
it
don't understand. They're highly
transcends-
trainable.
they're
Get a dog.
It transcends what your understanding.
that's why in that mind I would say, like, okay, you're just like Onision then. Cool.
Onision is fucking scum.
He is. Like I've always had a I've always had my distaste with Onision for the longest time. Like when he was turning fucking, I think when he was in his 30s, he dated a 17-year-old and he
He did.
married a 17-year-old.
He did.
And nobody looks at that and says that Onision's a pedophile. Like, no. Like, you guys are just so fucking blinded these days. Like, to not notice the sign, to think that, well, I mean, and even at that sense, like, I've even said, like, this is alleged. In my mind, I think Onision's an incel himself. Like, just the way that he thinks of women and the way that he treats women, like, that's some incel type of behavior on Onision's level. Like, this dude, like, I really wish that if Chris Hansen didn't fuck up so hard on it,
I
on the
still remember the 911 call. I know
Yeah,
the name
with
of my
On-
stalker. His name's Chris Hansen. It's like, okay, you need to
Yeah,
take a breath.
like,
It's fucking
but
Chris
the
Hansen.
problem is, like, I don't
Go ahead
know
and
if
take a seat for me.
I don't know if you remember the whole controversy with Chris Hansen when it came to submitting the evidence to the FBI.
Yeah, he did, and that's the one thing John Swan actually fuck John Swan, but it's the one thing John Swan actually fucking did right.
Yeah, but the problem was that it just got so handled poorly, and the amount of people that Chris Hansen tried to get all of um the supposed victims, like the one crazy chick who looked like she was on meth, like, who talked about Onision and tried to slander him. Like, Chris, my question to you is, did you not do any proper research when it came to all of the other women who was
No,
involved
he
in
had
this?
he had other people to do it for him. And all he has to do is fix his hair, feather it, make it nice and fluffy. Go on
But
right away. Go ahead and have a
but a
seat.
lot of but a lot of the
A
people
reason
did,
why you're here to visit a 15-year-old boy.
but a lot of the people that he did have on, like, Shiloh was one of the biggest ones that I remembered. Like, when she came on to talk with Chris Hansen, like, that was the biggest, and the biggest one that everybody wanted to hear was Shiloh's story, because she was the biggest victim of Onision for the longest time,
But see,
and
here's
the
the,
most
here's the
vilified
twisted thing.
by Onision.
He still gets a platform, and people are still going to watch him.
Onision?
Technically, not anymore.
He still shows
Onision
up.
Onision's
doesn't
been
have a
banned.
I know, but he
Onion.
still shows up
Yeah,
on people's
Onion.
stuff.
Yeah, Onion Cuck has been shadow banned, and he's no longer monetized. But the only reason why people still talk about Onision is because he's the biggest fucking loser on the
Okay,
planet.
so
He is a prime
he's one.
example.
Why is he not in jail?
It's simply because
Semantics.
it's semantics. Yeah,
Okay, EDP 445.
Fuck
He's-
that motherfucker.
yeah. Fuck EDP.
I just came here for a cupcake, Nerfy.
I just came here for a cupcake.
Fist bump. Fist bump.
No. That's another one that just needs to go.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
But then we go back into these things that are designed for kids for a reason, such as Lion Maker.
Oh, fuck that dude.
Such as, oh God, what was his name? He turned out to be a major abusive asshole too. Like, you go back into this platform, and where it's designed for kids, and then they turn out to be fucking predators.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's shocked Pikachu face. Well, he's playing with a bunch of fucking teenagers as a 30-year-old man. What did you expect? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that all men that do that are predators, but like, there's signs. You guys teach your kids. Teach your children. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
just teach your kids. Like,
Life.
I
Perfectly, yes.
like,
That's
don't
somebody
just
else
sit them in
fucking-
front of an iPad or a TV and think that, oh, this is okay. This is okay.
But he
But
plays
no.
Minecraft. No.
But he plays Minecraft. No, fuck you. Like,
Okay,
if you're
so
not
this
gonna-
is
if you're
one
not
of those
gonna
examples I do want to talk about, and it's crazy that he literally looks like a human demon online, but he's the perfect example of trying to hide something. And you watch someone like Cyrax, who got into VTubing, who changed his
Oh,
voice where it
God.
sounded like this, and hi, I'm Shadowblade, and I'm here to be your friend, and we can play Minecraft.
Did he
and Fortnite
did he turn
together."
into a femboy?
He did. He literally did.
He
Oh
did.
my god.
Oh my
But if you ever
god.
seen Cyrax, old Chancy boy, shout out to the one and only, the Drift King, Music Biz Marty. Hopefully you're looking down on us, with grace and love. We never forgot you. You have a guy in Cyrax who it's so fucking blatant. You had someone like a troll that people despise and hate, but someone like Wings 007, him and Adentum working together, as well as uh, uh, Masshole, whatever, and they did all this stuff as trolls to expose this piece of shit. And he's still around and has a platform.
Mhm.
I don't get it. He's a literal demon. You watch him, you look at his face, how disgusting and vile he is. That's just his hygiene or whatever. But he's literally trying to snare a web of fucking deception with VTubing and all this stuff.
Well, you,
And
well, you,
ugh.
well, this actually brings up a really good thing. And Dan, you may remember this kid
Yes,
from
Masshole
back
Mafia, Mausoleum Mafia.
You may remember this kid from back in 2017. Like, I'm going to be talking about him since we're on this topic, but you remember Ross, right?
Yes,
Effing Ross.
and God bless Mr. Medicare for that beautiful
Yeah, and
fucking
thank you. And thanks to Mr. Medicare for exposing this guy. So Ross, like, this dude, like, he's the definition of a sociopathic autistic retard on the internet who's actually admitted to being a pedophile on the
100%.
internet. Like, he's 100% admitted to being a pedophile. And when when a lot of people who came out on the internet to expose him, like, that was just a great
Well,
sign
and
of
I take this one personal because I defended him because when I asked him, he's
I know.
when I say a legitimate sociopath, Nerfy, the guy sat there, fake tears and everything, and said they're just they're rewriting what I'm saying and this, and I'm like, so talk to me, Ross, what's going on? And he sat there, and I was trying to leg out for him because he was just getting bullied and bullied. I'm like, then what's the deal? And he said, I just want to have kids one day. And they asked me a question, and they took everything I said and they twisted it. And then I want to say a week later, what was it, Koopa? You know what? I have to just admit it. I'm a pedophile.
Yeah, he
I'm a
admitted
pedophile.
that I think it was he was sitting in a call with a bunch of his friends, including
And they defended his ass.
Ruby. They defended him, yeah. And then Mr. Medicare came out and he was talking with Ross on his own live stream, talking to him, asking questions about whether or not if Ross was a pedophile and getting an understanding about why he was searching up kids in a bathtub.
Yeah.
And Ross tried to make so many fucking excuses as to why he did that, and it's like, it makes no logical sense, really. Like, you want to be a dad one day, okay, how does looking up kids in a bathtub make you want to become a parent? Like, that does not make you want to become a parent.
If you're a pedophile.
Yeah, if you're a pedophile, that's really where where it makes no logical sense. Like, that's pedophilic behavior right there. But the thing is, when Jim came out and talked with Ross, getting an understanding, like, all Ross did was just make deflection after deflection after deflection and making
Jim
excuse after
is such a great social engineer. I heard he had cancer. If he did, God,
yeah, Jim had cancer. Jim has cancer. Yeah,
wonderful human being.
He's actually, like, he's been on Locale Live. He even talked about it on his own live streams, talking about his own cancer diagnosis.
But
And
such a
he's even talked about
he was
it
such a great social engineer in the fact that he got this sociopath. I can only compare it to like BTK. He was a serial killer, and the way he did Ross, the way Mr. Medicare did him, and basically he's like, "Oh, I understand, buddy. I know his look," and got him to just spill his guts about how depraved he was.
Mhm.
That enough people finally, And to bring it full circles, it's fucking all the way back to the Smash shit. Enough people realize this when he started talking about how he had he got pleasure, he got sexually gratified by the thought of sticking a knife in someone.
That's
Oh
healthy.
my god.
Yeah, he's actually admitted that he has bloodlust for wanting to kill people.
He said his ex-girlfriend, all he could think about is wanting to
grape
bleed her
her.
dry, basically.
Yeah, like he admitted he has grape fantasies of his ex-girlfriend. And it was just it's so fucking disturbing to hear that. And like I don't get how anybody who thinks that that's like a really good fantasy to want to be gratified with. Like it's the most psychotic thing that you could ever fucking think of.
And that was just a Sunday for him.
Yeah. It was just a Sunday, but then again, it could possibly be that he's just retarded. But at the same time,
No, it was
even
beyond
retarded,
that. I think
like no,
yeah,
let
exactly.
me get to the point. Like even retarded people have a brain and they understand some things, but Ross, he's just plain old psychotic.
Okay, I'm following everything, I promise, but I'm not trying to be woke or whatever. I really don't like that word. Like, really don't, because from what it sounds like, this guy is, you know what I mean? But like to compare him to like actually mentally ill, you know what I mean?
So we knew him relatively personally because we had known him for a couple years.
I'm not saying anything about him.
And he was legitimately autistic. Like he's legitimately like on the spectrum, what have you. I understand that. He was functioning autistic. I get that. But the thing, it was more than that. And I would almost argue and say that he wasn't actually autistic, that I was always his shield. He used that. I've thought about this over the years. I would almost say that he was smart enough to use that until the cheese slid off his fucking cracker and he lost his fucking mind. And he got outplayed by fucking Jim. But he literally would have moments of full on clarity. And I would put a brilliant mind at times, and then the monster came out.
Psychotic.
Yeah.
I would remember thinking to myself, he knew exactly where to hide. He knew exactly what communities to go into. I mean, he knew what he was doing. He built his little group of friends who he knew that he had developed this bond that they would defend him, even with that going on. And their argument was Mr. Medical was bullying a smaller
An
channel.
autistic kid,
Yeah,
yeah.
an autistic kid. And all
But
he had
it's
to do was
like
sit back.
Jim has, but that's basically Jim's brand of making YouTube videos. Like Jim is a troll.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like when you listen to Jim talk about anything, relating to like this kind of stuff, like Jim's a very smart dude and he looks out for this kind of stuff. And I honestly really find it so surprising that not a lot of people don't really do much of that at all, like because they're just so scared of
But see, what
being.
Jim did that's different than other people is he legitimately got the law involved.
Yeah, he did.
The police were on Ross, and they basically put him in a home where he couldn't hurt anybody or himself.
Yeah.
Again, I stand by the fact that I don't think that he was truly on the spectrum. I think he was a monster. He just got outplayed, and he realized that, oh my God, I'm going to have to stay in this home because if I don't, they're going to put me in prison.
Yeah.
I think that you might be right, because a lot of people like to use autism as an excuse to be a shit human being. And I know a lot of autistic people that aren't. Like, you know what I mean? That just
Autism is everyone's new favorite jacket now. It's where people like to go because they want to be part of that clique. Oh, I'm autistic.
Okay.
It's kind of like when Elon Musk did the salute, and a bunch of people were like, hey, he's autistic. I'm like, look, I got a lot of autistic friends that all of a sudden bust out Hitler. Okay. Like, I don't know what that you thought that excuse was going to do, but you're wrong. Like
Yeah,
that's
I'm
not
not-
what that excuse did.
Yeah,
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I'm not going to fuck
I'm
with
not-
that. We've had these conversations.
I'm not
How
going
Fuck
how
you,
we got
Elon Musk.
back to Elon Musk, I don't know, but I'm not going to fuck
like
with that.
I'm not going outside and I'm not holding my hand out and saying "See Kyle" while
Yeah.
marching in the background.
Exactly. Fucking autism. My autism was acting up, guys. It's like no.
Well, me and Cooper go back and forth and say we are strong in the tism. But
Yeah, that's why we have to do this.
So back and
Well,
forth. So what y'all don't see is before the show, me and Koopa just keep throwing that sign at each other because we're,
yeah, it's the tism.
It's
that we
tism,
do
bro.
that while licking glue sticks and saying
Yes.
hi Koopa.
First off, we don't sniff glue sticks. We
Lick.
eat it.
We lick the glue sticks.
Yeah.
Same shit,
The
different
whole
meaning.
point. The whole point is that like the idea that autism is a catch-all for these idiots is insulting to the people with
Well,
autism.
it goes back to what we said before. These monsters try to find any avenue to get in. Less I say more than maps.
Oh, even Ross Ross
Maps
tried to.
all maps did was teach predators what not to do.
Well, and
Yeah.
they've always been trying to infiltrate the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
no,
you're not
fuck
fucking welcome here. Not welcome here. Fuck off. Nope.
Yeah,
You
if
sound like fucking Edward Norton from fucking American History X. See this right here? You see this? Not welcome. That's what you fucking
see if it were me and if I was, predominantly in the LGBTQ community, I would be that guy who would be like, "Oh, you're a map? No, line up on the wall."
A lot of the LGBTQ, that's exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
Like make examples of them, essentially.
exactly. Yeah, like at least with a lot of the people in the communities that we're discussing here, like at least a lot of them have a lot more of a understanding when it comes to these kind of people right here with like pedophiles and maps. Like, and even I would, and I think I believe it was back when we were doing the communities episode when we were talking about the whole brony situation and when
You
we were
had
talking
to
about
come back with
furries.
a brony.
Yeah, because we had to, because it's a good example.
It is.
It's a good example of a community policing themselves and making sure that they have the right people in the community, because we don't want any of the shady or crazy people in the community.
Wait,
Shut the
are you saying
shut-
that you?
shut the fuck
Are
up.
you
heard
Let
it
me
here,
out
folks.
now?
Koopa has admitted.
Koopa has admitted he's a brony.
I did not say
I have
that
been
I was.
vindicated.
Hey, at least I was not the one who looked up the pony jar.
Oh, there we go.
My little brony.
My little brony,
You know what? I
my
get it now,
little
Nerfy.
brony.
Thank you. You know what? You have done it. You are a great social engineer. You have convinced Koopa to finally come out as the brony he is, because he was pushing that
Dan,
on
at
me.
least I'm not the one who has ponies laying around in his office.
Who's the
Yeah.
guy? Who's the guy who has a brony in his chat who you sent over here?
First off, I did not send him here. So
He said he
go
was
fuck
sent
it.
here.
I did not send him here.
Who
okay?
else is he following that you know?
Well, how the fuck was I supposed to know? Okay.
Yo, brony.
First off, I haven't seen.
You
him
hang
in a
out with a
while,
guy
but-
who believes he's a Tonka truck and a brony. Don't put that on
Okay.
me, Ricky Bobby.
Okay, they've come into my chat. I don't actively talk to them on Discord at all.
Oh,
And-
really? You're gonna feed into his crap? Really? You're...
The whole world is upside down. What has become of my sweet Toko? Thank you, Trish.
Yeah, what happened
I'm
to Sweet
being-
Coco?
Uh-huh.
I'm being
And he
I'm
did
being
say he was
cyberbullied.
He's-
I'm gonna go start drinking Febreze now.
Oh my God, Ross did that
Yeah, he did that.
Why?
in an attempt.
so
to try
in
to
an
get
attempt
me and just say throw himself off a cliff in Minecraft. He drank a bottle of Febreze.
Yeah.
What?
Okay,
Yes.
so it was it was a quote end game stream that he was doing, or a video that he was doing. But in a way he said like, I never said this was a this said stream. I didn't officially call it anyways. This is just me drinking Febreze. So he drank a I can't remember if it was a full bottle or if it was just like a little sip of Febreze. But he drank Febreze and he admitted that he was trying to
Did he not have enough
endgame
balls
himself.
to drink bleach? I'm confused.
I'm gonna go get some Fabuloso after this is over and
Yeah,
have a party with it.
Fabulosa. Suicide is serious, guys. Don't do it. Thank you.
Yeah.
We here at the Dorks podcast do not condone that type of behavior, but
No.
And get help. Just saying.
if
just
you
get
feel
help.
if you're ever feeling that way,
But-
please get help.
But like me and Dan said, Ross is a sociopath. He will do anything to gain your sympathy, and Dan's gone. But
you're like, Dan will agree with me, and Dan's like, fuck you. I will not. You are wrong, sir.
But this was actually, in a way, like he mentioned it before. He's talked about how Ross is a sociopath and he'll do anything to give you sympathy.
Okay.
What the fuck just happened?
I don't know what
I
happened.
don't know.
The internet just shat on him.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live, dude.
Not bad.
Don't end us like that.
Yeah,
I'm
because
Let
I
us
was
finish, let us finish the thought.
Go ahead. So I was laughing because she said Febreze made him shit himself.
Oh.
yeah, that's
Well,
what,
yeah.
'cause, I mean that's what Febreze does. But as I was saying, and Dan, you can agree with me with this, that Ross is a sociopath and he'll do
100%.
anything to gain your sympathy because he's trying to keep up that image of, oh, he's just an innocent autistic kid who's trying to get friends and he's being bullied by some internet trolls.
But that was also a time when I think that trolling worked against the trolls because the trolls that were, I know, faithful. I'm sorry. I apologize. I dropped the ball.
No, we have longer than 4 minutes longer. No, just kidding.
I can't. Go.
And then neither can I. Have stuff to do today.
I need to finish packing, so
I watched the trolls, and these were disgusting trolls. These weren't the ones that were literally trying to do, be Robin Hoods and do the Lord's work. They were basically making his testimony that much more heavy. Like they were able to make him a victim when he clearly wasn't one.
Mhm.
Especially one in particular that you know very well, who has now an Urban Dictionary name.
Oh yeah, yeah. Good old Steve.
Jesus. Who I understand is either in prison or jail or fucking.
I think he's
banned.
in jail. I think he's in jail. Because he has been banned off of the internet by his states, because I have not heard of him in like a few months. Like that's how long he's been gone. It's a few months.
Couldn't
But-
have happened to a better guy.
Exactly. Exactly. It couldn't happen to any better guy than him. So,
This got into a fucking deep ass conversation. That tends to happen with us.
well, yeah. I mean, it's sad that we didn't get into the cheating stuff with video games, but you know what? Like this kind of stuff is actually,
Next week.
yeah, that'll be next week.
We do need to talk about. So next week, the plan, we should have a different look of the show. We changed the name and everything, so we'll change the name of the channel, and so we're going to be debuting the new look. I mean, everything should be the fucking same, but yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
here
it's
for it.
just
Hey, Faith.
different background.
We're going to talk about AI, and we've talked about AI before, but not in this spectrum. We're going to talk about people falling in love with their fucking AI,
Because that's normal.
Yeah, no.
but more common than you think. I mean, Jesus.
Like I can never understand that, but that'll be next week when we talk about it. And when I go into Tether life for the last time, hopefully.
Don't say that because then you're going to end up being there forever.
I
Telstra,
don't
bro.
want to though.
Telstra. You have Telstra.
But still.
Well, I mean, you tend to use You ask Chat
GPT.
GPT stuff all the time. Maybe they could tell you how to work your tether better.
No.
I had no such thing.
How dare you expose you? Trip, see, I would never do that to you.
We love
No,
you,
you're just going to
Trips.
kill me for no reason.
That's not no reason.
Pixels glow and screens alike. Dorks unite, we'll take this mic. Game on, heroes side by side. In this world we laugh, we ride. Roll the dice and cast the spell. Tell your tales we know so well. Quests await where dorks prevail. In our voices legends swell. Press start, dorks embark. Lights out, we ignite the spark.